It'd be so much fun.
I like your hair.
Thank you.
I'm sorry. Did you get the homework?
I have like 2. Can you see them? No, but not really. Oh well, I don't care. Well, the only reason why I can is because I was like looking at your buns. I always feel like I have my buns like missing, but it's just like my blonde hair because it blends in with the wall.
Okay, nice.
What? Like when I like go to my bun, there's like a section of like blonde on this side, and so whenever I go look into the chunk is out of my blonde, I was like, oh no, what happened to my bun? And I feel it. I'm like, oh wait, it's so good. What if they say I want to cook? Is this apple pie Christmas cookie? So funny. I was cracking up. That's why I was laughing so hard, because I was like matching these. They're like this thing. So funny.
Is this still the substitution part? Principle?
At first I put, yeah.
I think it's, I still think it's
What'd you guys get for 9 and 10? Given.
Yeah.
When in
Hello, Lauren. Goodbye. I just want to say hi. You guys like watching it.
Addition property and then
I don't know if that's right.
That's just stuck together. It's really annoying. Your eyes are so
I did
cute.
14
They're so long.
too.
You're crazy. They're really good. There's someone that looks like she has fake eyelashes in my grade that goes to Carol. They look like each lash is like separated. I have a question. Yeah.
What did you get for 16?
Substitution principle. I wonder if I'm in the
Yeah, and then 13.
I wonder if she can see me.
Yeah. And then 14 given, 15 definition of between.
Wolfie not here today?
Okay, and the last one, for the 3 steps. That's I said given definition of between and subtraction property of quality.
I accidentally wrote the 17th question on another paper of mine, so.
That's similar. So we need to do.
Yeah.
But I got definition. Because that's what I got. Isn't it every time we do? Why is it every time you do subtraction?
So you guys talking about number 17?
Help me with saying
What you're subtracting is.
Okay. Very good. I think all of you had a complete proof written for number 17, even though you were hesitant about it. I'm glad that you guys did that. Number 20, we didn't finish in class yesterday. What did you put at the end for number 20? What? Where? What did you put at the end? Were you volunteering? What did you have?
RS equals 3D and it's the substitution.
Is that what everybody else put too? Or did anybody have something different than that? It could be right. Okay. And Morgan?
I had another step before that. For
Okay.
number 8, I had TV equals RT minus ST.
Okay, what did you put for the reason behind it?
Substitution principle.
Okay, that's fine.
That would work?
Awesome. And we haven't talked about, one of your classmates brought up the transitive property. And that's another good one that we haven't really thought about that probably could be used a lot of times also in place of the substitution principle. That's the one that says if A equals B and then B equals C, then A equals C, the transitive property. So if we have one thing that's equal to another thing and we know that that is equal to something else, then we can use the transitive property as well. So that is another good one that could be helpful to you guys when you're doing proofs. Okay, let's go through, did you guys agree on the reasons for 9 through 16? Do you have any questions about that proof?
I was confused about it. I didn't quite understand why they were what they were.
Okay. So, you're given this. Okay, and XAB, XCD, right, and then XA is equal to XC. And AB is equal to CD. I think I've briefly mentioned it before, but when we're marking diagrams in geometry, if you put the same marks on each one, usually a straight line, that means that they're congruent, which means that their lengths are equal. So that's why I just did that, so I can visualize which ones are congruent. Okay, so they start off with given, XA is equal to XC, and the second one is also given, so they just put both of those right up there up front. And then they're trying to prove that XB is equal to XD. So we want to know that the whole length of these segments are congruent. And since we know that these 2 points A and C are between, and we're talking about the parts and the whole, it'd be good to use the definition of between to write an equation to relate the parts of the segment to the whole segment, which is why they said XA plus AB equals XC plus CD. But that actually, in that case, what did you guys put for the reason? Aaron?
Definition symbol for between is what I put.
Because I feel like that's combining more than one thing. What else did you guys put for that? Sarah? Yeah, because I would probably say the addition property of equality for that. We are thinking about the A and C being between, but it's not saying like XA plus AB equals XB. It doesn't say that. We're just saying that since these two are equal and these two are equal, then if I add them together, then they would be equal. Then it goes into XAB, which is also a given. Line segment XAB for step 12. 13 would be what? Right.
Definition of between.
That one would be the definition of between, yes, because I guess that's the one I just wrote down right there. And then they give you XCD, which is also a given for number 14, and then they use the definition for between with that segment to finally say that XB is equal to XD. And that's where you could use the transitive property, or you could also use the substitution principle, looking back at the previous statements. I don't know if that helps at all, Paige. Yes?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, in 17, how did you guys feel about 17? Were there any questions about that, Madeline?
Like, I could do it in 3 statements, but then I added, like, the reflexive property. Is that still okay? Okay.
Good. Okay. I want you to do more practice of proofs, and I want you to have time to do that in class, so you can ask questions and work together. Just me.
Will you do number 17 just so like?
Yes. Okay. So you have X, K, Y. And that's the only thing that you're given is that you have that line segment. And you're proving that XK equals XY minus KY. Okay, so who wants to tell me what you put? Anna?
For number 1, I put segment XKY given.
Okay, good.
I put KY equals KY for reflexive property.
Okay, let's hold off on that for just a minute. Morgan?
XY equals XK plus KY and addition property of equality.
That is the statement I would use next, but not the reason. Sarah?
I put definition of between.
Yeah, that would be the definition of between. And then if you want to say what you said, Matt, you said,
KY equals KY reflexive property.
yeah. If you want to say that, you can. It's not necessary. They said you only really need 3 steps. But you can put that in, and they have put it in before, so just to be thorough. And so then finally, we would say what? Yeah.
XK equals XY minus KY in the subtraction property of equality.
Yes. Yes, ma'am?
Yesterday when we were doing like number 20 and stuff, I thought you said that like you had to do the reflexive property if you were gonna do the subtraction.
You don't have to.
Okay.
They have put it in your book, but I wouldn't count it off if you hadn't put that.
Okay.
Paige?
What's the point in doing the reflexive property, and how do you know, like, if you're going to do it, which set of letters to use?
The point is to make it very clear that the thing that we're subtracting from both sides or adding from both sides is the same. Because the subtraction property of equality and the adding property of equality is saying you could add or subtract the same thing to both sides. And so they're just trying to say that we will be subtracting or adding the same thing to both sides. So
Okay.
that is how you
So it's
know.
always gonna go before an addition or subtraction property?
Yeah,
Okay.
if you put it in, yeah.
Okay.
Mhm. There could be other, in these situations right now, there could be other times in the future where you might need to use a reflexive property, but for our purposes right now, that's when they have been using it. Yes, okay, any other questions? Are you feeling better about them every day? Yes, more practice, some of you need a little bit more practice, and that's okay. So like I was saying, I want to give you a little bit of time to work on this during class today, and then whatever you don't get done will be your homework. That way, if you have questions, I am here and other classmates around you are here to help you. So I want you to try 19, 21, and 22. So those are all proofs. It might take you a little while, but you have almost 15 minutes to get started on that right now and to get help. So page 27, 19, 21, and 22. That's pretty much the only problems that are left in that section that we haven't done. And then tomorrow, we will review for your chapter 1 test. And so, I originally said that that's best for you tonight. No. Yeah. So it will be on Monday. Your chapter 1 test will be on Monday. Okay?
Do you want me to turn the camera off?
Yeah, that's fine. Thank you.
I don't know where it is. It's in the back. That would make sense.